Today we're shining the spotlight on the Greater New Haven Cat Project, a nonprofit that helps to alleviate the suffering of feral cats through their spay and neuter programs. Joining me now are Cheryl DeFilippo, the president, and Melissa Rogers, the secretary. Ladies, thanks for being here. Now tell us who you have with you.
I actually have Terrence.
And I have his brother Samuel over here.
They look like they're identical almost.
They are. They're brothers.
And they're both up for adoption, we should mention.
Yes, they're both available for adoption. They were rescued actually from a backyard in New Haven as part of one of our trap, neuter, return sessions. They were young enough, and we determined with their disposition and whatnot that they would be able to be socialized and placed in a permanent home.
Right.
And now they're getting all squirmy.
Yeah. They're excited to be on TV.
I think so.
So tell me about the Greater New Haven Cat Project. What's the mission, Cheryl?
So the organization started in 1996. It was just a small grassroots organization, and our purpose is to manage the outdoor cat population in a humane manner, and we do that through spaying and neutering. We offer our trap, neuter, return program for people who are feeding feral cats, and then if somebody has taken in a stray cat, we will also accord them an appointment for low-cost spay-neuter services.
And then what's interesting is that they go back into the neighborhood where they came from because that's their home.
Yes. Yes, feral cats do have a home, and their home is wherever they happen to take up residence, probably where they've found a feeding source. And what we do when we receive calls about feral cats is we encourage people to put them on a regular feeding schedule.
I see.
And that sort of helps us determine a volunteer who would be available to, to go out and to humanely catch the cats, transport them to the vet. We work with 2 wonderful veterinarians, and we recover the cats post-surgery.
Okay.
They receive a distemper and rabies vaccine in addition to being altered, and then they do go back home.
How many cats would you say are kind of living on their own in New Haven?
Thousands.
Thousands?
There are thousands, yeah. We live in a community where there are a lot of transient residents, and feral cats are known to sort of exist in places like college campuses and whatnot. With the economy sort of taking a downspin a couple of years ago, we've experienced a lot of people who just don't have the resources on their own to even have their pets spayed or neutered. And it only takes 2 and 2 months, and then you have a litter of kittens.
Melissa, let me ask you, what about diseases or rabies? Does these cause any problems to humans?
I would say not to humans. It's not a big problem. As rabies, it's not what you would think of as a wild animal, because these are, what would you say, domesticated?
This is a domestic species.
Yeah. And usually if it was to affect feral cats aren't aggressive.
Okay.
They're more likely to run away from humans and run towards a human or bite a human. And for a feral cat to contract the rabies virus, they would have to be bitten by an animal that had rabies and then survive that attack, and then, like I said, attack a human, which is very rare that a feral cat was to go after a human.
Now, let me ask you, you kind of touched upon it with Sam and Terrence here, that sometimes cats are rescued. What's the difference?
Well, when so one thing that we should say right up front is that we don't operate as a shelter and take in people's pets. All of the pets or the cats that we have available for adoption are from a rescue effort. So for instance, when we were trapping in their former neighborhood, when the cats are trapped and they go to the vet, when they're in recovery after their surgery, oh, they love one another.
They really want to play with each other.
Yeah, they do.
Maybe they should go together.
That's our hope.
Yeah,
is that somebody will adopt them together. We determine when they're in recovery whether or not we think that they can be socialized enough to be adoptable. We often take in kittens. We take in friendly cats that might have been abandoned into a feral cat colony.
Okay.
So age doesn't matter, color doesn't matter. We just go for sort of like their personality and whatnot.
Okay, and we're looking at some pictures on the screen. Do these guys need homes as well?
Yes, those are a couple of our senior cats. Colette on the upper left, actually. She was given to us by one of our veterinarians. Her family was going to euthanize her because she wasn't getting along well with their dogs. And when you receive a phone call like that,
you want to save them, right?
Yes.
All of these guys need help. Oh, who's this?
This is Hillary. Hillary is one of our special needs cats. She was rescued from a landscape nursery in Hamden. And, and there's Oliver.
Oh,
That's their brother.
Their brother.
Their other
Yeah,
brother.
there's 3.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, and I know that you guys have an upcoming cat food drive. It's happening Saturday, December 8th from 10 to 3. Where's that happening?
So that's going to be, that was actually a result of a grant that we received from the ASPCA.
Okay.
Apparently the A and Subaru have a partnership, so we're going to have our cat food drive at Premier Subaru in Brantford. And we're going to have we call it Fill the Forester for Ferals.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
So
very
we
good.
will-
We're talking about the Subaru, right?
Yep,
Very good. All right. Well, we have that information up on the screen. We
Great.
can find it over at WTNH.com.
Great.
Guys, thanks so much for being here. Hopefully we could find Terrence and Sam a home.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
All
you.
right, stay with us. More Connecticut Style after the break. We'll be right back.